We are still
No.
2 weeks away from spring break.
Yeah, all messed up. Well, 3 more years and then we'll get to join you.
Oh, right. Yeah, our spring break is the 10th through the 14th of April.
Yeah, so next week is our spring break.
Well, congratulations. Happy weekend.
Actually, this quarter was my quarter off. I had released time because of the CERM grant, but it ended up being more work than I wish I was just teaching and had a schedule because I was all over the place.
Yeah.
Did you put in another application?
I did not. Did you or Angel?
I did as a full because I wanted to do one more thing with the Bio 200 class.
Yeah.
Which is maybe you can be very helpful. I wanted to do the interactive whiteboards with the SI sessions, but I didn't really put much in, and they were tired of me, and I'm tired of that. So I was happy. I felt like at least I would do it.
Yeah.
But apparently they must have had a lot of applicants because this was my first time. Well, it was bound to happen, but anyway.
Well, I heard that we might get asked to be leads anyway, so I didn't put in an application because I was just waiting to see if they decided to ask us to lead.
Well, I think you should be a super lead, but you have done such a, you're making me look so bad, Joe, which is not hard, but anyway. But I really, I think you. I'm not buttering you up. I just think, is Angel listening? No. I just think you have done, you know the technology, you are, and we are at different ages and parts of our, what we want to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I definitely, I know the Bio 200 outcomes with the SI.
Yeah.
Positive side, and I'm happy, and now that the school took over funding it, I don't really need the SI stuff.
Right. Yeah.
The rest of the technology, I did tell you that I tried Lightboard.
Oh, fantastic! I didn't hear that. No.
Yeah. So, try is just quotes, because I had 10 of my graduate students make a little mini lecture that was intended for the Bio 200 students.
Great.
But we need to do some more work on that to make it, but it was a good experience. I think as a didactic for the graduate students, it was great. I don't know what it does to the Bio 200,
the actual student.
Yeah, so the technology people now want me to go and showcase the thing that I don't really know much about. But anyway.
Yeah.
There's a Greek and American saying that it says that in the land of the blind, the one-eyed person gets to be the king or the queen. So my dad used to say that all the time. So sometimes, but that's how you get to. So do you have any experience with interactive whiteboards?
Well, we could do that right now if you want, actually.
Okay. I just wanted to, I can't find, I've been looking on.
So this is something I discovered recently, especially since our topic is upcoming
right
in the class technologies. I discovered that Zoom has an interactive whiteboard.
Oh.
And everybody that's now connected to our meeting can use tools that you can find on your screens, supposedly. I'd love to hear from you how this works from your ends, because I've never done it from the participant view. I've only played with it from the host view. But we've got editing tools.
Oh.
And so supposedly all of you can grab an eraser and erase something that I've done or add content. And this is something that I've not quite yet gotten my students to do, but I'd love to be able to do this for digital office hours.
Uh-huh.
We could do it in the class as well. We obviously turn off our microphones, but you could if you're on a campus that has Zoom, which I think probably all of us or most of us
Yeah.
have the Zoom's institutional subscriptions, this is free.
Right.
Students can log in to your Zoom session and use these tools for editing. And let's see, this also has typing functionality. So you can draw, you can type.
That's great. I'll have to.
You can change formats of the font and various things. So yeah, if you're doing something simple and you think it would benefit a number of students by all collaborating together via Zoom, they can do that. And you can help them do that by hosting a session and they could all join in. I've done this a couple of times for office hours this semester when I have students.
What was your attendance? I mean, what was there?
Well, the reason I did it was that I have one student who wasn't able to come to my office hours because I had scheduled them at a point when she wasn't on campus, I think. And so she was able to digitally join. So I would have me and I would lower my monitor a little bit like this so she could see the other students sitting back there. And then everybody would log into Zoom from their tablets or laptops or smartphones or whatever. And we could have a fun time drawing DNA or pedigrees or chemical structures or whatever it is we were interested in doing. Let me see if I can find Zoom on my tablet too. So that's one thing that I don't know if this counts as an up and coming technology, but.
Hey, we can count it. I did not know about it.
So let's see, I'm going to join.
Oh, so you have your iPad.
Okay.
You're getting a speaker.
Is that okay?
It's okay, no.
So now I can edit with, I have better tools on my iPad.
Oh.
I've got a highlighter, an arrow tool. So that was me on my tablet. Anyway, not to bore everybody to death. So this is one thing you can do. Any questions or any ideas about other up and coming technologies?
You said you're gonna, anyway, I wanted to pick your brain on the interactive whiteboards.
Yeah. This is one way to do it. I don't know of any other, does anybody know of any other platforms for doing interactive whiteboards?
Well, I mean, so what would you, in terms of purchasing the hardware, purchasing an interactive whiteboard that maybe it would be hanging in the lab, an actual, you don't know any of that? No, okay.
I don't even know if we have any of those classrooms at Fresno State. Well, we think we do. I've never taught in those classrooms before. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, because we just got a couple of classrooms that are supposed to be the ones that promote, with the round tables where you can just have the people the students interacting. And so I thought for the SI sessions that if I had 2 or 3 interactive boards that around, on the walls, that students could go up there and draw whatever, bring stuff from the web and, maybe learn while having fun or something. Okay. But I think the technology people on campus have them, they would have.
The best practices I've heard regarding that are, well, some best practices, not the best practice, is to have students give presentations. So I've seen people use those sorts of classrooms at Fresno State to have each group develops, a short PowerPoint slide or maybe a digital poster. And you use them as stations, and students move from station. Students who aren't presenting then would move from station to station. During a class period to learn about different topics, or just to give the student groups avenues to give presentations to multiple groups of students.
So I in the winter quarter, I do an introduction to research class. So basically, I take students who have just are freshmen or sophomores, and we give them the ability to do their own research project with Drosophila. It's a little bit guided, but it's really, they're responsible for the project, and at the end they have to do a PowerPoint presentation and also a poster. So it has all the aspects. But yesterday so I have a graduate student doing the class, and I'm in and out because they do much better with grad students. They're a lot more likely to ask questions, to make, not to worry too much about the mistakes. But yesterday, one of the student presentations just absolutely floored me, and I didn't have a chance to ask him, but I'll tell you what he did. So it's a standard PowerPoint presentation. They have the title, and it's all Drosophila stuff. Mm-hmm. So he has 3 Drosophila images that are on the background. Mm-hmm. And then he takes his hand and taps on them, and they disappear.
Oh.
Yeah, so it must, I'm sure it's like where if you touch it, I don't know what but it was about, it's all about flies dying. The project is about aging and flying. But I said, what a great way. Everybody was awake. All the students were looking. Yeah. And in the beginning, your brain is saying, okay, this is a real fly. You don't know how but it was very clever.
That's cool. I can imagine. Yeah.
So that I'm sure you can embed those things, and when you touch right there, it transitions out.
Yeah.
That's what. But it was just really well done. And I guess the other question, since we're talking, since we have nothing, we don't have anybody else. Well, Eric.
Just the 4 of us, yeah.
Is Prezi versus standard PowerPoint? What is your thought?
I've used Prezi a couple of times.
Is it too much work?
If you're not familiar with Prezi, you've probably seen Eric and Angel. You've probably seen Prezis before, maybe, but
yeah.
Prezi. Here, I'll type it in. I think it's Prezi.com. Mm-hmm. It's a Flash-based presentation system where it's more dynamic and you can zoom in and out. They've got a ton of great examples on their website. I used it once at a Society for the Study of Evolution conference, mm-hmm. and I think like every other technology, it's got its place. And what I was doing was I was giving one of the lightning talks at SSE, which is a 3-minute talk. And so I really wanted to have something punchy and sort of visually appealing, not just a PowerPoint slide. And it happened that the topic I was talking about fit pretty well with what Prezi can do. I haven't spent a lot of time on it, so I wouldn't be comfortable teaching students how to use it yet. I'd have to spend more time reminding myself how it works.
So a couple of them who probably had a class that was a presentation class from English class.
Yeah.
It was Prezi, and it was pleasing. I mean, it wasn't too complicated what they were doing. So
it can be very effective. The thing that always comes to mind when I think about using Prezi is the ability. One of the things that's really cool about those presentations is the ability to zoom.
Yeah.
And you take a picture of a human and you can zoom in and show them a picture of a cell. And you could zoom in from there and show them a picture of the organelle. And you can zoom in from there and look at the organelle's DNA sequence. And you could zoom in from there and look at the atoms in the DNA. And that's the part I think that really grabs me about that approach. But like I said, I always think about adding it into class, and then I always decide I don't have enough time to.
Yeah, well, that's the investment. That's a problem for me, at least. with the investment of technology by the time, how much time
Yeah.
and how, and well, I mean, it could be that it doesn't pan out. So you have tried to do quite a bit of that.
I think used sparingly, it's powerful. I think if you used it all the time, would probably lose, lose its appeal. Plus, I think it has the potential to make people seasick. I've seen some presentations that just jump around and zoom in and out and move.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a bit overwhelming.
Well, that's all I have to say or ask. Are you going to tell us something new?
Well, here's a link to something new.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just starting to have conversations with some staff on campus here, instructional designers and like-minded folk. This is more about assessment, I think, than course redesign, but there's this watch-like tool they're expensive, empatica.com here, that measure. They've got a number of sensors. They measure temperature, they measure skin electrosensitivity or something like that. They're touted as being able to measure neural activity and basically attention, as I understand it. And it would be interesting to know if we could get enough money and we could get all of the students in our classes to wear these, maybe we'd be able to do real biological assessment of, does course redesign with technology engage students? At the neurological
very interesting. Hey, let's do an fMRI while we're.
That's the idea.
So, how much are they?
Well, I don't remember. Let me open that link.
Eric,
it's hundreds of dollars each. It would have to be something.
It's $250.
Yeah. So it would have to be something where you bought a set for a small class.
Yeah.
I think, and hand them, or just have select students in a large class wearing them throughout the semester. You'd have to do institutional review board approval.
Yeah. What was their name? Did you type it? I don't.
It's a link in the chat window.
Okay. I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're going to run into invasion of privacy issues.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I can imagine. So I've got a meeting set up with one of our staff next week to discuss this, but this conversation between the staff member and I started when I mentioned, now I lost my train of thought. I'd sent out that link to everybody, the new lecture capture audio processing tool, DART.
When was that?
That was a couple weeks ago. I think I sent it out to the cohort. I'm pretty sure I did. Okay. It's an online tool that was developed at University of San Francisco. And what you do is you upload lecture capture, either audio or audio plus video. The DART tool only works on audio. And it processes the audio and can tell, it returns you a report on at what minute, from second to second during your class, was there a single voice talking or were there multiple voices talking? And the idea there is it gives you an idea of how much formative assessment for the instructor. It tells you how much active learning there was in your class. If you define active learning as being a time when the audio reflects multiple voices talking at once. And I ran because I've got lecture capture that I've done for semesters now. I've got a huge backlog of them. I stuck one in and it worked pretty well, actually. It was pretty accurate at determining when lots of people were talking and when only one voice was talking. And so that's an interesting, potentially up and coming tool, but again, that's an assessment tool. And I emailed that around to some campus faculty and staff here as well, and that's what prompted Max, our staff member, to email me back with this wearable technology, another way to assess engagement, presumably, by students.
So is the idea then to use DART to quantify how often you've got multiple people speaking in class?
That's basically what it does. And the publication, this is published their publication, they specifically point out that they don't think this is a good idea for instructor evaluation because it has some flaws. And of course, the whole thing hinges on the definition of active learning be lots of people talking at once, which is not the only form of active learning. So I think the idea now in the utility is to use it as a formative assessment for yourself. It was useful to me because when I went back and I looked at the reports from my lecture captures, it was clear that I thought I was doing more active learning than I did, which we all, or most of us anyway, know already is true. The faculty and anybody is liable to over-report what they do that they think is good. 75% of people think they're above average drivers. So it's a potentially useful assessment instrument for institutional use, maybe not for assessment of instructors, but to know, are instructors actually using active learning? The benefit, this is from Kimberly Tanner's group, by the way, I forgot to say that, from USF, University of San Francisco. And I think one of the benefits of using this is, yeah, again, for faculty formative assessment, to know how much active learning or at least group work you're incorporating into classes. So potentially useful for formative assessment and for being able to do in-class evaluations without having trained faculty observing the faculty that are teaching. So some of the current assessments like COPUS, the classroom observation protocol, something, there are a couple of published faculty observation instruments that are used where trained coders sit in the classroom, and every minute or every 3 minutes they mark down what sort of thing is going on in the classroom, which takes a lot of manpower. And DART uses just audio capture, so you don't have to have extra people doing the work, but it gives you much less useful information because it only tells you when multiple people are talking.
It doesn't look like we have any other.
Just the four of us. The five of us now, yeah. Hi,
No
Ying.
questions from Angel or Ying?
Just tuning in to hear about what's going on. That's totally fine. No worries. Yep.
So the Summer Institute is the 25th to the 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah, I just saw it, but it's up in Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, it's the week of the 26th of June.
26th.
Yep.
Did they actually send out an email about it, or?
No, I was just looking because I was, my schedule is filling up like crazy. And
yeah,
I already had it. I thought I didn't have it.
Yep. Yeah, I had to email Kathy in advance because I wanted to know when I was supposed to show up, or if I was supposed to show up as a lead.
Do you know? Because I don't know that yet.
I do, so I'm happy to share it with both of you. The official word from Kathy, since it hasn't been publicly distributed, was, although it is now since I'm recording,
we won't tell.
Was that leads would be like a dinner time meeting Sunday the 25th. So I put down on my calendar 7 p.m. I don't know if that means actually 7 p.m. or if I just stuck that in an evening position, but I'm at a conference the previous week. So I'm leaving there Sunday morning and arriving in Sacramento Sunday evening to be there the night before. And yeah, that was the idea for the leads. So for the rest of you, if you're invited to go, that means Monday would be potentially the start day for other people that are arriving for the CRT Summer Institute.
Wow.
But that's unofficial until we get an email from the CRT team.
I'm putting it in my calendar now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I'm trying to find a reference to a paper that might be interesting to look at. While I'm Googling this manuscript, if anybody's got other questions, that's definitely a good time to ask. And I'm going to have to leave about 12:50. I've got a meeting I'm leading at 1 as well, so.
I have this seminar I have to go to, so I got to leave at the same time.
Yep.
So we can even leave earlier if there's nothing if we covered our.
Yep.
What did you put up?
So let me see. I'm going to send you this link to this article through the chat in about half a minute. Here it comes. This is a manuscript that that was brought to my attention. This is getting back to those wearable watches.
Ah, okay.
Just briefly. This is a manuscript that was brought to my attention by a speaker that we had come to Fresno State and talk about not necessarily course redesign with technology, but how the role of the faculty member in the new millennium is changing, and the fact that students have access to all this information, the value of active learning, and related topics. And this manuscript, if you look at figure 9, which is scroll, you'll get there. What these were engineering student and faculty members. They developed a wearable electrodermal sensor, which is basically, I think, the predecessor to this watch. I'm not sure that the Embrace watch, I'm not sure it's actually related to this manuscript directly, but it's the same idea. They had students wear this device. And so figure 9 shows you basically neural activity. And students then coded what it was they were doing at various times. You can see there along the x-axis of multiple days in a row. So a student would wear this thing all day, every day for a week. And the point that this Jose Bowen was the speaker at this conference, by the way. He's the president of Goucher College on the East Coast. And the point he was making here was, look at what happens on day 4, for example, when students are watching TV. They've flatlined. There's basically no neural processing going on, no reactions. And then you look next to that.
All that difference during the exam or during some labs.
Exactly. Yeah, so the labs and active learning is good. Sometimes when the student's doing homework, there's some spikes. But look at class. So this is, if you want to use this in a presentation or a report, this is great. These are great data. That active learning may be something we need to do because students are flatlining during lecture style classes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It looks like sleep. It actually looks worse than sleep.
Yeah, sleep is more active.
Yeah, at least mentally active. Classes like TV. So you're passively absorbing, but maybe not doing a lot of mental processing. So I think there might actually be some value in, again, just for assessment, in having these watches to be able to do this on a larger scale. If you really want to prove that redesign with technology and active learning and the various things that go with it are actually beneficial.
That's an awful big cost to get enough of them.
No, it's true. I don't imagine anybody actually doing that. But
unless you worked with the producer of the watch,
I'm going to say yes. If you
talked a bit about, hey, we're going to publish with you in it, you're going to want the data.
Yeah. Yeah. If you got it sponsored, that might.
How is this watch used in other settings, you know?
I don't know. I only browsed their website for 5 minutes this morning.
Oh, okay.
I got a sense from their website that they're trying to make it a medical device. One of the things that one of the first pages on their website touted was that it could be used by people who are prone to seizures. to measure neurological activity, maybe to warn of seizures oncoming or something like that. So to make it a wearable medical device. But in the meantime, it apparently does other things too. They're trying to market it as a commercial device. Maybe I'll buy one and play with it. It connects.
That would be worth it.
Well, it says it connects to devices via Bluetooth. It's USB chargeable. It can send alerts to your phone.
So, Joe, what would it say if you flatlined during your own class?
I don't know. That would be interesting.
Or somebody else's. So you do a classroom visitation, right? You go.
Yeah.
That would be mandatory for classroom visitation reports.
There you go.
A print out of your.
I like that, Nicole.
Hey, no, I think there's some merit there as a trial.
I still have to have my peer evaluation of my genetics class this semester. So I'll buy one and I'll strap it on the poor faculty member that has to come do my
Hey, I can come. Oh, no, I can't come and do it for you.
Put it in my RTP file and we'll see what happens.
No.
That's an interesting idea.
You know what? I'm going to propose it to our dean.
Yeah.
See what they say.
It's a
As
conversation.
an explorator, they would not become part of the faculty's portfolio, but they could be used as a way, especially because I'm not in the RPT committees anymore, so I get to do a lot of classroom visitation, not for biology, for kinesiology and health sciences, for other departments that don't have a lot of senior people. So I think I'm going to tell my dean, you buy me one, otherwise I'm not doing any more classroom visitation. Oh, no, I'm intrigued by this.
Yeah. It's not that expensive in the grand scheme of things, I suppose. But
And also, if it's for like this baby steps, it could be done in a small graduate class and get some, some baseline, or take some of your research students and just tell them to go to the,
You weren't working hard enough.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to say goodbye.
all right.
I see a lot of Pepsi there, Eric. What's going on behind you?
That's thankfully several days worth.
Okay.
But it is true. I have a drinking problem. I can't argue that.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing it wasn't some other type of canisters.
That's my one vice. That's the only one I have.
Oh. Well, it's a petty one, not too bad.
Yes. Well, it's
All
a
right.
Pepsi one.
Bye-bye, guys. Have a good weekend. Good break for me.
Enjoy.
When is our next?
Couple of weeks. I don't remember the date offhand, but I'll
Okay.
send out a reminder.
All right. Bye, Joe. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Have a
Bye.
good afternoon.
There it goes. All right. I think I'm going to head off too. We've got a distinguished alumnus giving seminar, so I think I'm going to go
Yep.
tables down and that kind of thing.
Understood. Well, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Sorry I was on there late.
That's okay.
The department chair wanted to have a little chat about class organization and such. So
Ooh,
when he comes by, you kind of got to do it.
Yep. I understand.
All right. Hey,
Cool.
See you later, guys.
Take care. All right, Ying and Angel. Well, I will hang out for a minute in case somebody else decides to since I'm the host, but in about 10 minutes or so, I'll definitely have to take off to start my 1 o'clock meeting.